Hello, guys. Today I'm going to continue doing the campaign as I said. Well, today I'm going to speak about the LGBTQ thing because these days have been a lot of these people around me, you know. And well, I have an uncle like that, and when we started making the architecture, and this is something like they say, oh, you remember Kennedy? Kennedy was shot because he was fighting with his own shadow, and I fight with my own shadow literally all the time. And well, I'm super dead. And I'm also make the architecture, and I'm super bad, and I want us to win, of course. And just that I wanted to be for every single American. And I think I think this is, I'm not sure about it. But the thing is that they want to depopulate Latin America and America, and meanwhile they are taking everyone to work in the United States. And one of my proposes is that we are all the United States of America here in this continent. The other continents don't have the army and don't have the power to limit that ability that we have to be one nation, all the continent. And because we need to start organizing our resistance. We need to think in our kids, in our wives. You want your wife to be a prostitute. You don't want your kids to be faggots. You don't want your kids to not have balls. Even if you are like, I don't know, like liberal or anything, because that is super, when I hear about, for example, the Jewish Orthodox, they are super right in everything they say. The thing is that they don't think that for everyone, and that is what liberal Jewish people thought. And I'm super far right, and I fight with myself to not be racist and not to be like discriminative with the LGBTQ, but these people it's not them, because they are just puppets. Is the cloud and the church. Francis, I love Francis, but of course he has a plan and everything. And the future is going to be good for humanity, but the path is very important. How we do it is super important, because then we are going to forget how we built our civilization. And that is something that is wrong, because in Egypt they did that, and now we see pyramids all across the world, but that civilization doesn't exist. We are that civilization, but we rebirth that one, yeah. But that civilization was ended, and ended badly. And for 10,000 years was no civilization until English get to the classic era. And now we are at the tip of the civilization of that, the British American civilization with the American Empire. And we cannot allow to be destroyed that. And they undermine other men placing, because the alpha males, we are like planets. We get affected by other things. So obviously we build, or at least myself, we build resilience to our magnetic field. But still, it's going to be a homosexuality everywhere in our society. And obviously the model is that we and our wives are at the top, and minorities and everyone else are treated like females. That is the model. And when I said it at the beginning years ago, I said, okay, I just said it. I didn't imagine when you are For example, I live in a room and I see that everyone is bisexual, like homosexuality, men and with women and children being gay. The president of Colombia being also like that, and obviously all the elites and everything, they are obviously they are not like that. They are super bad guys. They are super correct, super Christian, super orthodox, super. They are Catholic but Jewish in bloodline. They are super respected people. Me also, I'm family of some of them. They are family of me. Well, I'm really a big guy here. Um, Not because I need to say it. It's because, well, my operation here has been for years and decades, and I've been making my way through. Just that, of course, I don't have the power to don't allow what I'm saying. Not here, not anywhere in the world. For example, they have Biden in his Twitter, you know, Pride Month. They hit undermining the most powerful men in the world. Then we see Putin show with his own coup, making the scene and everything else. And what happened in the United States? He went out. No, we have nothing to do with that. When he said it, we want a regime change there. We want to rule the world. We are the bad guys. That's it. Why? Because of that. They undermine man. They undermine the thing. He is climbing the stairs. They ridiculize him in front of all the world, throwing him out of the stairs. Like Maduro, making joke of himself all the time. They make joke of the most powerful man of the world, our elder, our person to guide us. And of course, he has a lot of situations surrounding him that he cannot say anything. Because being a politician in the empire, well, you do a lot of things, a lot of business, a lot of, to get there. There's the world that we live in today. And that thing is impressive. Francis, he's saying, oh, we need to rights for these people. We need everything, and the rights becomes that they are. When you have too many rights, you become a slave. And then you'll have the right to remain silent. I'm kidding, but in our lives, So that is impressive because it's like they say in Disney movies. I'm in all Disney movies and stuff like that. The world ended, and we lost. And when I say we, as the mankind, because even between ourselves it's difficult. Believe me, I try to defend the treasury. I try to, the Fed prints money a lot. They don't pay a single cent to the treasury. They are defended all their business around the world and by the army, and they don't give a cent to the army. The Fed. Same, all the central banks of the world, they are protected by the police, protected by the army. If not, their men are going to obviously take what is rightfully theirs. And they don't pay a single penny to the armies, the central banks, and the banks. And I have my bank, but I am for the army. I'm going to even, as I am speaking this, I am thinking in doing something because we need to, the same thing of the Second Amendment. They say, for example, we need our guns. For example, today in YouTube they say, YouTube is not under First Amendment. Imagine this, imagine that. YouTube is not under First Amendment. So what is under First Amendment? Do we ask Elon Musk to buy YouTube so we can speak freely there? Or what is happening, And even though that Elon Musk is a part of the bad guys. If you listen to him, he said, "I like him. I like him. I love his business model, and I think if everyone practices his business model, I practice, we all be in equilibrium and stuff like that. You know, the thing is that, um, he's a bad guy. You know, he believes like in kingdoms, in companies being also like kingdoms, like he being the king of his company and everything like that, and the state and the liberal democracies are no more. You know, we are living that system, but as a matrix. But the works world works the other way now. You know, everyone is being managed by the AIs and the clouds, and what it remains of the faith now with the Orthodox of the CIA and the Catholic Church in the other side, and Francis being also Orthodox. You see Argentina full of lesbian women, gay men, men with young woman, young men with old woman, young men with old men, young, yeah, and they want us to be like that, you know. And it's impressive because you are surrounded all the time by homosexuals and prostitutes everywhere. That is the new reality. That is not the state of the things. No, the state of the things doesn't exist anymore. That is the new reality. We live in reality now. And it's a shame because England was liberty, you know. And I was hoping for the Americas to be in England and with Japan, for us to be the man of the islands, and we with liberty, not the syncretized way of liberty to be, no, liberty for real, you know. They say that that never existed, but of course it existed. You know. The idea, it wasn't fully implemented, but it was the greatest idea ever. You know, when I was a kid, I remember. Well, I am super far right. You don't even know. Well, I'm truly bad guy. I have done things for the right. You know, I like to talk, but at the end of the day, well, I have to protect my well, my job. You know, I have to do what I have to do. You know, maybe you can say I'm a hypocrite or whatever, but I have to do what I have to do. You know. So when I was a kid, I remember telling to my uncle that I wanted to burn the books, you know, because they were all like just propaganda, you know, and that is propaganda, prop agenda. And I remember, and I told about the liberals, and he told me that it wasn't the liberals, that it was the other way around, and that he was the first third Mason of Colombia, and he told me that the liberals were the greatest thing that was ever created for mankind. And I fought with him, you know, because that was the days of Trump, and I said, hey, but why are you saying that? Imagine all the liberal things. They throw cheap things here, and then your business is not that like it used to be. Now you cannot charge the same money. They are giving the things away. You know. And now I realize that that wasn't liberty. That was communism. You know, in China. Now there is no population growth in China, and they are stagnated, and that is what they want to do with the United States, and I'm fighting for that not to happen, you know, for the survival of the empire and to the annexation of new territories, the whole Americas. Like one senator or woman said, America, United States of America, from a corner to corner, you know. And I also want to add Australia to that, and Antarctica, around the world. Because the ideal is super beautiful, you know, but it is in this moment is just an image, it is built on not equilibrium, and we need to do it that we have equilibrium, and we continue doing what we do as bad guys to the other side, and then we complete the takeover. We apply equilibrium to everywhere, so everyone is free, with the ideals that everyone is created equal, like Biden said, and everything. But the thing is that even when I know he's a bad guy also, and he is sometimes, obviously he has to be some hypocrite, not because I say that he's a bad guy, in that, but he is bad guy but because he has to do it, because the power of these people is enormous. You don't even realize that. You don't. I cannot explain it. I can only. It's like Eminem. I can only say what it feels like. I love the way you lie. So it is impressive. Sometimes you don't know if you are speaking by yourself, if your thoughts are yours. You have to always be careful of your thoughts that doesn't go against you, against the population, against yourself. And that is what is happening with all LGBTQ and stuff like that. They introduce thoughts in their brains, for liking women, for all the media, and to be like in France in the Renaissance, that men were dressed as women to make like a theater and stuff like that. Well, the same now. All the actors and everything are homosexuals, women, lesbians. I remember when I was growing, looking at Madonna kissing Britney, and then Christina Aguilera, and then Christina Aguilera becoming like transsexual and everything, and the other kid going to rehab, and Madonna like nothing. And that is how we see now, you know. All those countries are shit, and Virginia is, and I love it, Virginia. I will die for Virginia whenever I have to. Whenever they ask me to do it, I'll do it. But the thing is that we need to make a reform ourselves, to look at the Constitution again, to remember our values, remember our principles, and because now they're saying, I love England, I respect the king and everything. But I don't think he wants that for his population also, even if he is the king, to everyone to be like that. And as I said earlier, but they erased my comment, and that is good for us because, well, the men are gays, will they love us, and they will, and all the women are prostitutes. They are going to be like Magdalenes, and we are going to be like Jesuits. So that we are the ones like gods, and the sons of God, because we are all Jewish and stuff, and we are going to control the whole world, and it's not a bad thing. The thing is that, well, I don't need that. Of course, you ask me that at 11 and a half in the morning when I am not selling and I am praying, and I say to SJ, please give. And of course, there is the hypocrisy. But of course, the ideal is that to be different, that every man is created equal and we have the same opportunities and everything like that. And even we are bad guys, we can be bad guys, but everyone else being in equilibrium and having a chance to be entrepreneurs and not taking all their possibilities, but taking what we need and leaving them possibilities for themselves to be free. Because the more possibilities you have, the more possibilities you are aware of yourself, because if not, of course, every time I change curves, the thing, I take possibilities from everyone surround me. The same with the president, the same Kamala, the same all the presidents of the world, and the NSA and CIA are watching everyone. And even though when they say, dear, you don't know what is possible, because sometimes they make you think that you are doing that, and they put you in a path, and they are when you think that they are bad, you have to think it twice, because they are worse than that. They are unspeakable, unpronounceable bad. That is the soft thing. Everyone. So, but at what point was the democracy taking over, you know? Why we are doing this to our people, to our army, to our treasury, or to our way of life, to our continent. We are so rich, we are full of resources, we have the best skills in the world. Why are we becoming like China? Why are we becoming like Japan? Why are we becoming like Europe? Europe only prints money, you know. Why are we becoming like Cuba? And we are not solving the issues of the New Deal, and we are not solving the issues of the 2008 crisis, and we're not solving issues that we have in our banking system that we need to solve. And I am part of that, of course, and it's hard because I have too much leverage. And then I want, for example, to be in the stock market, and they crossed me. Today I saw that I was crossed because, for example, there was a man and a woman, and I said, "Hey, hello, I'm selling cappuccino." No? So I say, "Hello, I'm selling cappuccino, sir, ma'am," and I said, "Ma'am" to the sir and "sir" to the ma'am, and I knew that I was crossed, you know. And then I went to invest in the stock market, and obviously with the leverage that I have for the banking system, because my bank is baby fed, and I'm the one to defend that, you know. Not just the Fed, but the Treasury and Yellen, you know. I have it in my universe as super close people to defend the dollar, you know, the empire. And of course, I put it down, and it was up, and it went up, back down, and it went up, and with $1. And I was saying, dude, if you were reading were seeing there, it is like for me, it become like all day, you know, all day I do that. But you cannot lose the power of being impressed of something. You know? How can it happen? You know how much quantity of oil have to be sold and buy for the price to change? How much currencies are being exchanged for something to be up or down in the forex market? And then I just get into that, and I seriously sometimes I make fun of that I am like flying the like it's a plane flying the stock market, because I see it not in 2 dimensions like the graphic, but in 3 dimensions. And sometimes I put other dimensions there to make like the model, because of course it's 5 dimensions, because it's with the pentagon and stuff like that, or the possibilities. And yeah, and it is amazing, you know, how are we have all this power, you know. And yet sometimes we don't have even the power to get a girl, or to, that they say, prince with no power, you know? We need to give the power, not because I want the power, no, because, for example, I want Biden to have all his power and not to be undermined with any homosexual thing or anything, you know, even for his agenda or anything else, because he is a or elder, and I have a serious problem with him because he don't want to pay me, and I hate him. Believe me, I hate him, super hate him. But he is my boss, and my job is to obviously protect him all the time, and I need that to be taken away from him, all that homosexual thing and stuff from him, you know. So I need to, you know, for him to be the model of the whole world, because I made the model with the NSA, and also for the Catholic Church, you know, now that Francis is Orthodox or communist, to place Biden at the center of the world, you know, empowered as a moon, and the whole American black hole in the center, and all the black holes surrounding them, and like a solar system, but for or black holes and planets. And well, I made also my things for, not for what I wanted, but for, because there is a lot of things that are with the evangelics. They say that they are the good guys, they think the other thing, and it's like a white supremacist movement of persons that are not white and to be put the white men against themselves and all the things, like at the end of the day we were the good guys, but I also have the other thing, and we are the bad guys also, just that they was bad, the ideals of democracy, of liberty. Liberty is not, it's like woke, woke now is a homosexual thing, LGBTQ, because everyone that were trying to be awake, they make that homosexual, for the elites to not have any competition. The same thing with liberty, they associate that with homosexual, with peace and love, with all the stuff like that. And what Nixon did, Nixon, they say, oh, the first galactic empire and stuff like that, and you don't need to be like that to be an empire. You can be an empire with liberty, like England was at certain point, and United States also was at certain point when it was Einstein and stuff like that. But then they brainwashed him and became him communist. And believe me, I know what is that because I've been brainwashed all day. Just that I am hard to hard to kill, no, hard to converse, how to converse in communist, because I do believe in the ideals, but I was in love with the ideals of the United States. When I was there, I heard about how the people were, with the humility of the people, that they were always saying the truth, and even with all the things that the American people have. I love it, and a lot of people love it. But we have become the evil, and I'm not talking about evil that being, oh, the evil and stuff, but no, we are becoming evil, the being Nazi, and like not good for our population and not good for our people, and we need to change. Just we can do it. We can change it, because, well, there is no threat for the world that we lose the power, the grab of the world over the world, because if we change that, it's just a cultural thing, the way that we cultivate society. Because with the satellites, with the 4G, 5G, and with the army, with everything of the faith that ENC and the CIA, and with the church, it is impossible for them to win to us against us. But yet there is a lot of things that, well, for example, why didn't they make the move on Russia? Because they are communist to the bones, they love Soviet Union, they love Mother Russia, and everything like that, from USA. Imagine that, So we need to win there. When Biden was free to speak and he said what he said, well, we need to do it because he is the boss. He's not that, oh, he didn't follow the script. I remember that they said that. No, he doesn't have any script. He write the verbs because he is the one and only, So we need to follow that, Even when I can see me a lot of stuff, believe me, bad. He is the president, For example, when Chavez talked bad about Bush in the United Nations, a Democrat senator in the streets of New York said, "Hey, you have to respect my president." Okay, and that is the way it is, Sometimes, yeah, well, I work for him. I think I have the right, when I'm being tortured and stuff like that, to at least speak my mind, But what they are doing with the pride thing and else, and I see, and with the just minorities around the world as presidents, minorities in the Congress, minorities in all the states. So they collapse the state, and we don't have any fault with that. Now we are just companies and businessmen, and we are the ones that, and they. In fact, I'll have to start being a bad guy. I will have to have my own slaves, because I believe in Abraham Lincoln, and I believed in all the free men, But I'm going to have to subordinate population. I'm not talking about creating an army. I'm talking about the companies, to work, to exercise power, to being the responsible over giving food to people, and they loot with me and the whole population and stuff like that, like a company. I'll have to start building my company because I am a manist, I'm fascist. But I'll have to start being the other side of the spectrum if I want to become someone in life. But still, we have to do it. I don't know. I think I lost also. But we need to do some equilibrium. We need to be aware of doing the things to have a little bit of love for the population. And it's hard, because they put the population against you, and then like we are not. Sometimes you the ones with against you, like the cause will always betray you. The population at the end, who killed Jesus? Everyone. So, the problem is that, we need to win, we need to don't get high on our own supply of communism. We need to do that. Don't get high in our own supply of communism. I'll have to exercise a little bit of communism also with the company thing and stuff, to hire people and everything. But in equilibrium, we need to return equilibrium to this, at least to the United States, and export all the inflation. Meanwhile, while we're doing that, being the super bad guys, and then when it becomes up again the economy in years after a recession, we are able to do it. They say, oh, with that you are also doing that. We are going to do that to you. You do it that every month to me. Do it one to you. Don't do it a month to me. Do it one to you. And we live it together. And because we have to absorb the other inflation, and then we do it country by country, and to return the thing. And it's better to depopulate with one child policy, not because I like China. It's because I think that it has more respect for the people. Even China had a lot of bad things, that they don't have women. They make a lot of men, and they think that they don't allow homosexual, but I think that most of them, well, they like people in Japan and stuff like that they look like women, and dress like women. We are in crazy times now, but we need to get a little bit at least, for we do that to the other population and to ourselves, like in a streaming, and only ones that survive that streaming are going to be able to be at the other side of this thing that is happening. And it's hard, believe me. It's hard because the power of the technology and the power of everything that they have is unspeakable, unspeakable, for your thoughts, for everything. But don't do that to our leaders, and we need to make something in the Congress that